DMCA takedowns are not something to be taken lightly by YouTubers, or even especially the commentary community. They can fuck with your channel in ways that go beyond reasonable, and are something big companies use when you re-up anything without adding commentary or do any kind of legwork to make it fair use. While on point, smaller YouTube creators will use false DMCA takedowns to avoid criticism. And when that happens, that's when larger creators come in to clean house. I am not a large creator. I don't have a large reach, and honestly, this video is probably going to get one such takedown. I'll be honest, I'm risking a lot for this video. But if someone like Rogue, Freak, or even Sid Alpha can stick their necks out, then what does that make me if I don't? So, without further ado, lads and chads, I'm Captain Poofers, and we're going to talk about Acerthorn.
So, as you can see on screen right now, the video that I did on Acerthorn has been DMCA struck unfairly. I have filed a counterclaim, and I am currently waiting to be legally served. I can't really comment more on that, and yeah, hopefully the video gets reinstated. Have a good day, guys.
So it seems I was right. The DMCA boy has gone out and done it again. When he previously tried to strike me for, you know, the picture of his channel, which, quite ironically, he also used pictures of other people's channel, including Artemis, who, draws her own artwork. Very fun fact. Much like COVID-19, this disease of false striking spreads, and it seems Signal's been infecting some people. You see, what happened? Nothing related to Signal this time, believe it or not. That was just a funny little joke from me. Meet Acerthorn, a terrible YouTube channel that does terrible videos, and if you actually sit through any of them, I fucking pity your soul.
We're going to be talking about a person who uses DMCA like a motherfucking club. At first I thought, let's play it safe. Then, when I get struck, it'll show what an idiot Acerthorn is. But no. If I'm getting fucked, I figure I might as well go all in. There's not going to be a limit on what I do. I'm exposing this asshole. It's the least I can do. And unlike other small YouTubers, Acer, I don't give a fuck. I'm just as crazy as you because I'm putting my channel at risk to speak out against a DMCA abuser such as yourself. If I talk bad about you, you'll strike me. If I post anything from your content, you'll strike me. If I talk about your past, you'll strike me. Let's not beat around the bush here, Acerthorn. You're more than your average lolcow, and I've got a particular hard-on for you that I can't wait to beat over you. Multiple times? That came out wrong. But you fucking get my point. Since YouTube needs to abide by the DMCA rules to keep safe harbor, I don't take it personally, but Acer is going to clearly violate DMCA, and I thought if they knew about it ahead of time, they may start taking action against Acerthorn as a bad faith actor, and someone who is breaking the YouTube Terms of Service, or TOS, of which I've found numerous violations. In a way, I kinda want Acerthorn to take down my video to prove that he is in fact a bad faith actor on the platform. And although I don't advocate deplatforming, in this instance, I think it may be necessary. I will be submitting proof of my claims based on the multiple people Acerthorn has DMCA claimed, sued, and had accounts suspended. This document will also be released to the general public in various social media posts along with a media fire folder of evidence that this guy is in fact abusing DMCA. So even if this gets taken down, by the time he notices any of this, the general public will have copy-pasted this all over the internet like a motherfucking plague. You're not getting away with this, Acer. Today's the day! Here we go, boys! I'm gonna yeet myself today because I'm gonna get a false copyright strike. Isn't that exciting? I'm fucking psyched. I'm pumped up. I'm looking forward to this because we're going to be covering someone who uses false DMCA claims or false copyright strikes on channels as a way of silencing criticism. Because apparently arguing points made by critics is so fucking hard nowadays, much easier to just copyright claim that shit instead of defending yourself. Now, of course, I want to start off by saying it's not okay to dox, harass, attack, or otherwise go after this spurg. Obviously, if I wasn't okay with it for iBully, I'm not okay with people doing that now. If you do this, you're no fan of mine, and I will not stand for that shit. If you think I'm being harsh on the subject of my video, wait until I find out you've been doing that. It's clear I'm not okay with this. So don't do that shit. One tiny point before we kick off the video. Sid Alpha is against dogpiling this guy. So am I. But he's the type of personality that starts fights. So I don't know how much of a degree that's other people's fault. I will say, if you see him try to talk to you, the mute button is just a hair's breadth away. So maybe do that. In Acerthorn's case, you can't reason with him in any capacity. I wouldn't even try, to be honest. I'll quote Mark Twain here. Don't try to argue with stupid people. They'll drag you down to their level and then beat you with experience. To start with, I want to point out the definition of doxing before we continue, because I'm sure Acerthorn is watching this. Hi Acer! How's it going? Everything good now that your shit is on fire and collapsing around you? No? Too bad. Sorry to hear that, bud. Anyway, my name is Captain Poofers. I'm the guy who's going to roast your ass for the next hour or so. Let's kick this off with the definition of doxing. It is the search for and publish of private or identifying information about a particular individual on the internet, typically with malicious intent. Key words here, Acer, is identifying information. Fuck, dude. That means if I publish your home address, phone number, or even full name if it wasn't in the public space, that would be considered a dox. The last point here is important, but we'll go into that later. This excludes posts you've publicly posted on social media sites such as Twitter, Discord, YouTube, etc., as well as video or audio you've posted to YouTube, and I have a legal right to use them any way I see fit in a transformative work. Regardless of whether or not you think I don't, does not change my legal right to post context or evidence of your behavior. Big journalist companies like CNN or Fox News do this without repercussion. I'm doing the same thing, but to you. Now I'm going to give you the definition of criticism too, because you don't seem to know what the fuck that means either. Criticism is defined as the expression of disapproval of someone or something based on perceived faults or mistakes, or the analysis and judgment of merits and faults of a literary or artistic work, which is what I'm doing here. We'll go into fair use and legal precedents later in the video. It's rather boring, but supports my argument over Acer's and is very important to include. Finally, I'm going to define transformative work because, again, we're dealing with someone who knows a lot of words, but not the definitions to them. Transformative works are creative works about characters or settings created by fans of the original work, rather than the original creators. Transformative works include, but are not limited to, fan fiction, real person fiction, fan vids, and graphics. We'll also get into the 4 factors you so desperately cling to, as well as why fair use defends me and all other creators you've taken down. Let me state that how you criticize video games, and based on your own arguments, how you wouldn't be allowed to post video game footage of any sort if you were right. Again, all this we'll get into. Lastly, before Acer even thinks you can't use audio, video, or anything from his content, I want everyone to listen to a lawyer who knows more about the law and DMCA than I do.
The question then shifts to, well, what about this person that seems to be just bullying me and sending me notices, and they're constantly sending notices to eBay or Etsy or whatever, and my stuff just continues to get taken down. When do I get a fight back? Is there a way that I can fight back and get aggressive and go on the offensive? The answer is yes. The DMCA does have a provision under 512F. That's section 512F. And let me see, you can find that, I believe it's 17 USC. Make sure I have this right here. 17 USC 512F. And these are what I would call bad faith bully cases. This is where the copyright holder, let's say, has to have good faith grounds to send that DMCA takedown notice of copyright infringement, however they want to phrase it, but usually it's under the form of the requirements set forth under the DMCA for sending these takedown notices. So they send it in, they certify that they have a good faith belief that your product is infringing, and then Google or Etsy, Facebook, whatever, YouTube, they'll go and take it down. So, but these have to be made in good faith. And there was a case that was dealing with this, and this was the Prince case, and this dealt with a 29-second song that some parent and their kid had done, posted on YouTube, and Prince, through the rights holder Universal, I believe it was Universal Music, Universal, they basically sent the takedown notice, and the party that got the notice was upset. They said, what's going on here? We're just like a 29-second clip with my kid dancing. What's the big deal here? What's going on? That's like a fair use. I'm not trying to make money, and Prince apparently was, opposed to just having his music out there on the internet, and, if it wasn't his or somebody wasn't getting it from him or whatever. So a takedown notice was initiated. Well, this person fought back. They said, no, this is a fair use under the copyright laws. I'm not using it for commercial use. It's just a tiny clip. It's like, get real here. Just having some fun on the internet. Going viral, baby. So, a DMCA 1512F lawsuit was filed, and I think there was a motion to strike or motion to dismiss, which was denied. And so the court basically said in this case, this was a case out of the Northern District in California, lots of intellectual property going on up in the Northern District, San Fran Bay Area, so forth. And the court said, no, you have to consider defenses such as the fair use before you're sending down the takedown notice. So that sort of puts a burden on copyright holders and companies that want to just fire off, automated DMC takedown letters any chance they get, and just sort of do this routinely. They may send 50, 100 of these, thousands of these. So, there is this requirement. And where this is violated under 512F, it talks about how you may seek to recover for any damages, including costs and attorney fees. Let me say that again. Any damages, including costs and attorney fees, incurred by the alleged infringer by any copyright owner or copyright owner's authorized licensee, or by a service provider who is injured by such misrepresentation. And the misrepresentation is basically representing that you have these copyrights and you have the legitimate claim over the person that's using it. So this is a very important, I call it the let's go crazy case. Probably what it ought to be is let's not go crazy case. And, think about these things. If you're a plaintiff, you need to send these letters out. Think about it before you're doing it. If you're a defendant, you feel like you're being unfairly pushed around and bullied, have your copyright rights or your trademark rights examined by an intellectual property law firm.
That means you have to consider fair use before striking me or anyone else's content down. Let's do a quick review if you don't, Acer. 1. What you're doing is a clear violation of YouTube's TOS, which I'm going to prove. You can and probably will lose your channel over this. 2. What you're doing is in bad faith, and since you're abusing the DMCA, your hands are unclean. The copyright system is not meant to silence people if you don't agree with them. As such, the consequence will be people countersuing you for legal fees. 3. There might be a possible petition sent to the court if this keeps up, as you are clearly wasting the court's time. I do remember hearing, though I couldn't find the case, where if you waste the court's time one too many times, they can take away your right to filing claims. 4. Finally, if you strike me down, I will become more powerful than you can ever imagine. God, I love Star Wars! With that out of the way, I think I need to tell you a little more about the subject of the video, Acerthorn. Who he is, what motivates him, and why he's such a stupid crack. I mean, absolute mad lad. Yeah. Anyway, Acerthorn started his channel in 2019. It's possible he started earlier, but I'm basing this based on his first video I see submitted to YouTube. He's a gaming YouTuber that covers various game titles to a varying degree of success, and has massed a whopping 2K in subs, which I found to be sus at best. Here's the segment where we go off the rails. That's right, we're doing it unscripted. 100%. I think Acerthorn might be botting subs. I don't know. But poofers, I know what you're going to say, but poofers. Where's the proofers? Ha-ha! See what I did there? I am clever. Well, lads and chads, gotta love that voice. Let's look down here. Let's look at here, as I would say. Look at here. Yeah. So check this out. You got 14. You got 2K in views. You're getting a lot more views than I am. I gotta admit that. I'm a little bit jelly. You get a sharp spike in views, but that correlates with a sharp spike in subs. See, this is why I don't do things unscripted. So you got a sharp spike in views here, and you got a sharp spike in subs right here. And you get 35, 31, 26. Things look normal, right? Until you get to this massive jump. Holy fuck, 575 subscribers. And that doesn't correlate shit in views. You see that? There's no giant spike in views. There's none. Everything's growing normally, right? And then, here's the weird part, right? Here's the really fucking weird part. You get 30, you get 40, you get 50, you get 70, you get 50. Do you see something going on here? They're all jumping by 10. They're going by the 10s. And that's weird, right? A little bit sus, as the kids say, right? Now I know what you're thinking. Maybe that's a coincidence. I can't even talk. Maybe that's a coincidence. Maybe that's a giant coinky-dink. Maybe, right? Let's look at the monthly stats here. Scroll down here a bit. You got your massive giant leap right here. See, you got your subs, a giant. Not really a giant spike in subs, but it correlates with views. That correlates with the views. And then you have this shit ton sub spike, right? There's no spike in views. You got that, but that doesn't match the dates here, right? And you look at this, and you're seeing within single digits usually in sub counts, right? Just single digit sub counts. And after the giant spike of, I don't know, I'm calling it Acerthorn's erection here, right? You get sub growth by the 10s and 20s. They're all ending in 10s and 20s. Look at that. 0, 10s, or 20s. That's what it is. 0, 10s, or 20s. I don't think this is a natural growth here. I don't fucking, I'm not a genius. I'm not intelligent oso, as people say, right? I'm not having I'm not firing on all 4 smarticles here, right? But I think this is sus, right? But let's look down here. Let's look down here again. You see a giant leap from 485 subscribers to 1,000 subscribers, right? And there's no massive spike for views. Acerthorn, dude, you're botting subs. No, Acerthorn, no. Oh my God, no. Oh my God, no. Oh God, dude, yeah. I think that's a TOS violation too, botting subs. I don't know, but yeah, that's pretty sus there, buddy. Now, I'm not saying you're breaking YouTube TOS by botting subs. That's crazy talk. No. Clearly, you got that 575 jump because you're amazing. Sure, we'll go with that. You might be able to explain why your subs jump by 10 after the 575 leap. I'll give you that. But it's pretty fucking sus that you jumped as high as you did in that one day, and there's no jump in views. Either people enjoy subbing but not watching the trash fire that is your channel, or something weird is going on. Now, I refuse to talk about the personal stuff outside of YouTube's violations regarding Acerthorn. Yes, our resident Spurg is nicknamed Stabitha for a reason. I also won't talk about when he threatened legal action against a college he attended that he threatened a school shooting over. Oh, God. As funny as those are, they aren't necessary to me building my case against him. Next, we're going to cover why Acerthorn is such an idiot. Okay, so you can see here that he's telling people, hey, guess what, guys? If you click on your ads and, put it on a repeat, you're going to get paid that way. That's not how the YouTube system works. I don't advise taking any advice from this guy, by the way. Just heads up there. Just heads up. This, I'm not sure, is a YouTube violation because I think you have to click on your own actual ads to make it count. But he's just so fucking stupid. I've covered some dumb people on this platform. Like fucking dumb people. We're talking John Swan's 12-year-old autistic child levels of dumb. But I refuse. I'm sorry. I refuse to believe anyone is this stupid. So to this I say to Acer, congrats. You've done it. Your stupidity broke me so hard, I couldn't believe it. So far, I haven't used anything in this video to prove my points on false claims. That stops now. Here it is, folks. Here's a list of the creators that Acerthorn has struck. I've gotten this list sourced from Sid Alpha and added one potential, which is MothPerson, to bring this tally to a total of 11. I don't doubt that this is legit. Looking into this myself, I can verify Artemis, Echo Wilder, Kretosis, Rogue, and others personally. The only one I'm having trouble confirming is MothPerson, as this is why I've decided to tally him down as a potential. As for how I know that Acerthorn is behind all this, we've got Acer admitting that he struck 3 of the 11 aforementioned channels down. Which, hey, when I commit a YouTube violation, the first thing I do is brag about it. Makes perfect sense, you guys. Because that's what most people do. Am I right? So while we're on the train of admitting things, I've got this gem of a tweet here. So basically you're saying that if people stop talking about you, you'll stop DMCA claims. Is that it? Mystery solved then! Get fucking Scooby-Doo back in the van, guys. Call back Interpol. Send Sherlock back to England. This case is fucking closed! By the way, I'm being sarcastic. You don't know what harassment is. Must be hard for you, Acerthorn. You receiving so many mean comments about how you're wrong. I will say, yeah, you're getting dogpiled. And I've not been a fan of that lately. Which is why you've never heard from me on social media. Or the fact that I blocked you, because I think trying to reason with you would be like trying to reason with a rabid Wolverine. But I'm getting off topic. You have no fucking clue what you're talking about. What you're getting is criticism, and you're lucky to fucking receive it. Because if this was harassment, you'd know. And it's what some people actually have to deal with when they're in the public spotlight. The fact that you have to deal with some mean comments or critical videos about you doesn't even touch what harassment is. So keep fucking running your mouth. You have no clue what you're talking about, my dude. None. You see, when you do DMCA claims, and you've done many claims, many claims, this upsets people. How many people? Everyone on this platform, including you, my dude, because it can happen to you as well, and it sucks. What if all those video game companies decided to DMCA claim you? After all, you're using their content. It's in your videos. By your definition, they could simply claim you and you'd be fucked. And you can hide behind, well, I'm not being malicious, but in some sense, Yes, you are, against those video games that you're playing. By your own definition, you could get fucked by those companies too. Do you see why this pisses people off? Or is it a lawsuit angle that you're going for? Because guess what? That'll get you fucked by the court system too. One too many lawsuits and suddenly the court sees you as a habitual offender. That can get you screwed by the system too. Here's the rub. You think you know the law. Dude, my goldfish knows more about the law than you do, and he's got a 10-second memory and is a motherfucking goldfish! These aren't the only people you fucked over, mind you. We've got a list, and it demands your pound of flesh. So here we have a conversation that's been put out into the public. It's your discussion with Artemis. Here we see Artemis Wolf saying that you were threatening her, and yeah, you can go fuck yourself. You respond with a legal threat warning her that you'll, and I quote, fight back. And she says no, she's not going to give you the satisfaction of giving you her information. By the way, if Artemis is watching this, hi Artemis! My advice to you is get a P.O. box. Best advice I can give you. Then you respond with, watch my video on what I think the definition of fair use is. Which, dude, God. You got on the short bus early on in life and fucking stayed there, didn't you? No one cares about your shite video on what you think fair use is. No one throws as many DMCA claims as you do. Why? Because you're fucking wrong! Whatever you have to say on the matter will be ignored. And guess what? Anyone can pull a DMCA claim. I can do one on your videos right the fuck now. Doesn't mean I have the right to do so. Same applies to you. As far as I know, Artemis is the only creator to have gotten 3 DMCA claims from Acer, and Keemstar is currently trying to fix this situation. I hope Artemis gets her account back, and I'd like to thank Keemstar and Tipster for doing what they can to remedy this. These two are absolute chads. While we're on the subject of chads, and a YouTuber I've just subbed to, and suggest you all do the same, let's talk about Rogue. You remember Rogue, right, Acer? The guy you spurged out on Discord and suspended his account on Twitter. He was trying to get all those you had fucked with your false DMCA claims. And because you got all butthurt and scared he was going to make a video on your antics, you, Acer, decided to flag his account on Twitter. But hey, this tweet from you aged well. So well, in fact, it aged like fucking milk. Oh my god! Oh god, dude. As of writing this, Rogue is back, kicking ass and chewing gum. And he's all out of motherfucking gum. I'm not sure if he'll make a video on you after all this, though you now got someone on your ass on Twitter who loves you just as much as everyone else you've screwed. Which is to say, they love skin grafts more than you at this point. Getting back on track, I think you should have taken his advice, Acer. From what I understand, you've got a few people on your ass now, and Rogue wasn't even planning on making a video on you. He was giving you advice, because he, like so many others, know what happens on YouTube when you fuck with the DMCA. Speaking of people you fucked, Echo Wilder made a video on Acerthorn. That was another piece of transformative work that was covered under fair use. Though I didn't see the video, based on the pattern of behavior, this was probably struck by Acer because it was talking about Acerthorn in a negative light. Or in other words, the video was another piece of criticism that Acer didn't like. The harassment or doxing claims that Acerthorn uses as an excuse to use the DMCA is why all the videos Acerthorn has struck to date are all false DMCA claims. Echo Wilder, at this point, has issued a counterclaim to Acer's false DMCA claim, which, by the way, I advise everyone who's gotten struck, do so if you haven't already. I asked Echo if anyone should issue a counterclaim, by which I'm sharing what Echo has said. I wanted to ask if you would recommend counter-striking the claims, as well as anything you could recommend to other creators in a similar situation. To which Echo has replied, oh yeah, counterclaim them. He legit is stuck to one lawsuit every 3 months, and if you let him silence your voice without a fight, you're letting him win. Can't agree more. Can't agree more. So yeah, Acer, congrats. All you've done is temporarily silence a few creators, but the problem is something called the Streisand effect. Perhaps you've heard of it. Those people tend to talk about your misdeeds, On the internet, they can cast a wide fucking net. Eventually, getting back to people like, well, me. You know, the guy raffle stomping you right the fuck now. I'm a terrible person who does terrible things to terrible people such as yourself. And usually, I'm fresh out of fucks to give for scrubs like yourself. But it turns out, the fuck parade came into town to deliver a fresh batch just in time for your antics. Lucky! Now let's talk about people who are far larger than me who you've gotten the ire from. Sid Alpha, at this point, came back from the motherfucking dead. Like, holy shit tacos. I didn't even know the guy was still making videos. Part of me thought he was literally dead, though. Not gonna lie, he was, like, gone. Like, Thanos snapped from motherfucking existence. So when I say shit's gotten real, when you resurrect a dead titan, a motherfucking legend like Sid Alpha, shit's gotten real. And, by the way, I'm totally not in love with him, or anything weird like that. Like, really, not anything weird or anything like that. I'm just gonna say that for... Have my baby! I mean, platonically. Yeah. Anyway, you're not going up against your average small YouTuber now. We're talking someone with a large platform. And if he makes a video, it'll be posted to his large audience. Let's be honest. This is probably why you look like you shot some bricks on Twitter. We're talking to the point that you tried to get all your bots, subs, to flag Sid Alpha. Which, what are we at for the count of TOS violations for YouTube?
Wait, what? So I'm pretty sure that's 3 you've missed. Do I hear 4?
No.
Are we at 4 now? Because I lost count. And we're not even done with the actions against Sid, because you also threatened him on Twitter as well. Again. Like aged milk. More like fucking cottage cheese at this point, lads. Oh my god. Shit. Now that you mention it, Sid Alpha isn't the only one you caught the notice of. Apparently, Leonard French has an interest in your antics as well, because you spurged out in his DMs, I hear. Wow, Acer. Just wow. You truly are, absolutely, 100%, unequivocally fucked now, aren't ya? If only someone could have warned you about this. If only someone. Who could have saw this fucking thing coming? Someone who's Nostradamus as fuck. If only, Chads. If only. I guess hindsight's a bitch now, huh? You've got 2 large YouTubers on your ass, Sid and Leonard, and a third, Keemstar, is unfucking your shit. Rogue came back to Twitter to ruffle stomp you, and you've got an entire platform of people ready to hear what shite you've been up to. Let me tell you something, Acer. You can strike me. But at the point this video drops, you'll be fucked harder than I fucked your mom last night. The first is purpose and character use, including whether the use is of commercial nature or is for non-profit educational purposes. So yes, I'm non-commercial, and courts are more favorable for those who are non-commercial. This also fits educational because I'm informing the general public on your antics. I'm educating them on how unhinged you are. So, check that box. Nature of copyrighted work. This factor analyzes the degree to which the work that was used relates to copyright purpose of encouraging creative expression. You see this avatar, right? You've seen the background and video effects and music, which, by the way, I have rights to through Filmora. Even if you think you can claim your avatar, it falls under public use, anyone can use it since it's in the public spotlight. Also, the most that you could claim is a Creative Commons license on it. Even through CC, anyone can use it for whatever purpose. And yes, I was at one point an artist and learned some things about digital art copyright when I was building sprite art for video game projects. Probably before you were an unfortunate twinkle in your father's eyes. Mistakes were made. We can say, I checked that creative box right the fuck off. Amount of substantiality of portions used in relation to the copyrighted work as a whole. This means what portion of your work did I use and how long. Did I copy pasta all your work and not add any amount of commentary? Clearly the small portion of your work that I used was small and insignificant, and was commented on extensively. I even kept your videos out, which would have been your strongest argument. But again, so long as anyone has transformed the original work, you can't do a DMCA claim. The most you can do is make a response video, bro. So check that box. Finally, effect of use upon the potential market for or value of the copyrighted work. This determines if I've harmed your work in any way. No, this doesn't include your feelings. I'm sure I've smashed those into tiny cancer-sized pieces by now. Beyond that, can you prove that you've lost millions of dollars? Did I force you to sell your mansion in the Bahamas because of this? Did you have to sink your yacht for the insurance money? Because, guess what, my dude? I'm betting you're living off of disability and hope at this point. You're probably making dimes off of YouTube, if at all. So no, I didn't harm your work. With that out of the way, I can, in fact, take any portion of your content and use it how I see fit, provided I change it in a way that fits fair use. This includes, well, this video that you're watching, and that change can be as simple as editing a video and changing the title. I'm going to show you legal precedents, Acer. Since you said you know the law, you obviously know that once precedence has been set, judges will often rule based off of precedents. So pay close attention here, because once you sue me, Acer, this will be your future. I present Acerthorn Hughes versus Carl Benjamin. When Trump won the election in 2016, there were some people happy and some people not so much. Acerthorn made a YouTube video where she was basically coping about how Hillary should have won. Carl, being the Chad that he was, thought some mockery was in order, so he set about cutting up her video, making a new title, and posted it. No commenting over the video, just a little bit of editing, then he posted it. And soon after, she DMCA claimed it. They ended up in court, but suffice to say, Carl won. Why? Because it changed the original work. Didn't harm the original work, didn't compete against the original work, and was a parody on the work itself. But all he did was change the title and cut up the work. And the court ruled in his favor. And you know what happened next, Acer? Carl sued for the cost of legal fees. And you know what I'm going to do if I have to go to court over a frivolous lawsuit? Or if I have to take you to court over taking down this video? Think about it. Because guess what? Carl was awarded $38,000 in legal fees. But don't take my word for it. Here's a lawyer who reviewed and reported on the case.
Judgment has formally been entered in favor of Carl Benjamin for the legal fees that Acerthorn Hughes was ordered to pay on her failed copyright infringement claim, and oh my goodness, where this file goes... hubris. Hubris is the only word I can think of. United States District Court, Southern District of New York, Acerthorn Hughes plaintiff versus Carl Benjamin, aka Sargon of Akkad, John Doe's 1 through 10 inclusive, defendants. Judgment of fees and costs. Richard J. Sullivan, Circuit Judge. For the reasons set forth in the court's opinion and order dated August 4, 2020, it is hereby ordered that judgment is entered in favor of defendant Carl Benjamin and against plaintiff Acerthorn Hughes in the amount of $38,785.35 in attorney's fees and $126.54 in costs, for a total of $38,911.89. So ordered, October 9, 2020, Richard J. Sullivan, United States Circuit Judge. That is it. The case is over. There is nowhere to go from here. Stick a fork in it. It is done. But how did we get here? Now, I've done a bunch of vlogs on the subject. I have an entire playlist on it, which I will link here. Give it a watch if you have some time. But just an overview for those of you who might not be totally familiar with the context. Acerthorn Hughes is a YouTuber. She has a channel called Acerthorn Obviously. She is a Hillary Clinton supporter, and back in 2016, she made a video entitled "We Thought She Would Win," documenting the rise and fall of the evening of the 2016 election where Hillary Clinton lost to Donald Trump. Carl Benjamin is also a YouTuber. He is also known as Sargon of Akkad. He's a political commentator. If you read his Wikipedia description, he is a controversial right-wing figure. Take it for what it's worth, it's Wikipedia. In response to Acerthorn Hughes' "We Thought She Would Win" video, Sargon of Akkad made a video entitled SJW SJW Levels of Awareness, which was a shortened version, a re-edit of Akilah Hughes' original video. Akilah Hughes' original video was 9 minutes and 51 seconds long, and Sargon of Akkad's re-edit commentary was 1 minute and 59 seconds long. Sargon of Akkad's SJW Levels of Awareness re-edit did not have any modified video in the technical sense. It didn't have any overlay commentary. It was literally just a condensed re-edit of Akilah Hughes' original video, re-edited in a way that conveyed the message that Sargon of Akkad wanted to convey, especially with the modified title SJW Levels of Awareness. Now, Akilah obviously did not take too kindly to this. She filed a copyright claim against Sargon of Akkad's video on the basis that it violated her copyright. Carl Benjamin contested. He filed a DMCA takedown counter notice. That is a Digital Millennial Copyright Act takedown counter notice, which is what you have to do to contest a DMCA takedown notice. It requires the person who filed the DMCA takedown notice in the first place to sue if they want to avail themselves of their rights and remedies under the Copyright Act, which is exactly what Akilah Hughes did. She filed a lawsuit for copyright infringement on the basis of the use that Carl Benjamin made of her original work. Now, there are exceptions to copyright infringement known as fair use exceptions, and they include parody, educational use, commentary, and critique.
So just think about all those possibilities in your head before your autistic mind pushes that copyright button and DMCA claims this video. Because not only do I have case law, there's the fact that you haven't considered fair use currently, Acer. That's where your hands are unclean. Not only that, all the people you've taken down may have a legal right to countersue for lawyer fees, or even, perhaps, might have a legal right to sue you right now. Bet you didn't know that. You might want to consider taking down your DMCA claims, backing down, and just take the L here. Not to mention, this could have been all avoided had you decided to just counter the arguments, which is what everyone does here on YouTube. Think of YouTube like any other social media platform. When you respond to someone you disagree with on Twitter, that same thing has been applied to YouTube. Here's the weird thing. You do that on social media platforms on Twitter, but why can't you make a response video and articulate your points on YouTube? When someone makes a critical video, you should reply with a response video. It's not that fucking hard of a concept, my dude. Tell you what, even though you don't need my permission to make a response video of mine, I give you permission to use this video to respond in it any way you want. You could call me names, argue the points I've made against you, search my social media history, and use that in your video. Basically, do what everyone else does on YouTube. Hell, do what you've been doing on Twitter and just shit on people on YouTube who you don't like. You could also ignore and mute anyone on social media and moderate your chat so you don't see anyone trash talking you. That's what you're allowed to do. And all those are 1,000 times more acceptable than a DMCA claim. I've noticed something from you consistently on social media. You keep responding with, "They're doxing me," which, dude.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
You see, during this whole fuckery, Acerthorn has been claiming harassment and doxing. But the problem is no one is actually doxing you. Your claim is that because people have your real name on file, that means they're doxing you. I'd argue that, yes, had you not filed for numerous lawsuits, your name would not be put in the public domain, and thus, we wouldn't know your true identity. This nullifies doxing. Most YouTubers would, at the very least, blank out your real name. But they don't have to, because, once again, it's in the public domain. Anyone who has access to the internet can look up your lawsuit cases. Anyone. Anyone. And when I mean anyone, I mean anyone. I have to say that multiple times, because I don't think you get it. Your argument is finite, but I'll respect your privacy and say fine. I won't use your real name for this video. Make you happy? Doesn't make you right, nor does it make any sense, because again, your name is out there. The majority of your harassment and doxing claims, and perhaps even your legal arguments, are, they have my real name. I have to sue and get my name out in the public so that they don't dox me using my real name. Seriously. Let's play that last part back again. I have to sue and get my name out in the public so that they don't dox me using my real name. What the fuck? Make this make sense, Acer. I'm sorry, dude, but you get the gold medal for mental gymnastics. Lads, we're pulling out some old memes and I'm beating this one, so bear with me, but if this is my last episode on YouTube, I'm going full metal Kenobi. You think it's other people's fault that you receive what you claim harassment when
You have done that yourself.
you now unleashed a hornet's nest from which I'm now sure YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter are now aware of your nonsense, to which we hear
You have done that yourself.
you escalated this with false DMCA claims but not considered fair use, and you think you're being treated unfairly when
You have done that yourself.
we have a number of large creators that are looking into your antics and are planning videos on your butt, and these people do have legal teams or are legal lawyers themselves, and this is because
You have done that yourself.
lastly, you think people dox your name when it's out in the public domain because, like a Spurg, you're sue happy and put your name in the public domain by filing multiple lawsuits, which leads motherfucking Kenobi to once again say,
You have done that yourself.
so dude, buddy, pal, let's take this one tiny thing. It's from a video game. It's a very popular video game. And the advice is, well, I think it applies here more than anything.
Did I ever tell you what the definition of insanity is? Insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again, expecting shit to change. That is crazy. But the first time somebody told me that, I don't know, I thought they were bullshitting me, so boom, I shot them. The thing is, okay, he was right. And then I started seeing it everywhere I looked, all these fucking pricks. Everywhere I looked, doing the exact same fucking thing. Over and over and over and over and over again. Thinking, this time is gonna be different. No, please. This time is gonna be different. I'm sorry. I don't like the way you are looking at me. Okay? You have a fucking problem in your head. Do you think I'm bullshitting you? Do you think I'm lying? Fuck you! Okay? Fuck you! It's okay, man. I'm gonna chill here, man. I'm gonna chill. The thing is, alright? The thing is I killed you once already. And it's not like I am fucking crazy. It's okay. It's like water under the bridge. Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, fuck you!
Usually, this is the part where I get serious, chill the fuck out, and remind people not to go after this Spurg. And, well, I'm having a hard time suggesting people not make a video on him, or try and contribute to make sure YouTube knows that he's out here false DMCA claiming. I'd tell you don't go after him, just ignore him. Don't confuse this, I don't want you to harass him. And don't actually dox him. Hell, I'd say ignore him on social media, just let him Spurg out there. However, I don't think ignoring this problem is a good idea either. It's something someone said on Twitter that made me rewrite this last part in the script. The problem is, when I first heard about him, I needed to convince myself to get into this fight. This guy is out here suing and DMCA claiming a lot of small creators because he didn't like what they had to say. You'd have to be crazy to take on someone like that if you're a small creator yourself. That's the reason why I made this video though. Because I'm a small creator. That, and yes, I'm fucking crazy. I took this personally because as a small YouTuber, this shit affects me. I didn't want to be out of this fight when I think I can make a difference. Albeit a very, very tiny fucking difference, but a difference nonetheless. My values have very little to do with this though, and trust me when I say, I'm not a fucking virtuous person. I have a personal stake in this game, because as a small YouTuber, this can happen to me at any time. I'd like to think I can fight the fuck back when it does. Also, it's nice to think someone will have my back, even if it's another small creator. Birds of a feather, I guess. So yeah, Artemis changed my mind. I won't tell you to stay out of this fight. If you think you can contribute, make a video at Team YouTube, RT, and like if you see someone trying to get their attention. I'd even go so far as to say I think you should pester Susan on Twitter for all the good it will do. They need to know that when someone is using DMCA claims falsely, we are not okay with it. No matter how big or small the creator is that is doing this, when you used the DMCA as a weapon to silence people, I think you forfeit your right to your YouTube account. The problem is, people like this will never understand that what they are doing is wrong. Because, well, they don't know how to take an L. I've commented a bit on iBully at the start of this video, because for all of his faults, and wow, there are many faults. Dear Lord, there are many, many faults. I hold iBully in higher regard than Acerthorn. He never once DMCA claimed a video, and if he ever sees my video on him, he'll more than likely do what you're supposed to do, Acer. He'll make a response video, albeit a 10-hour video that pauses after each fucking word, but he'll make a response video, and that's more appropriate than what you are doing, Acer. By fucking far. Finally, there are a lot of people who have helped out, and quite a few of them I want to thank personally. First, thanks go out to Tipster. He really did make a grand slam by bringing this to everyone's attention. And of course, Keemstar, for asking your rep to help out Artemis, who, again, I hope she gets her account back. I'd like to thank Sid Alpha and Leonard French for looking into this, though as of writing this, I'm not sure if or when your videos will be released, but you brought this to the attention of your audiences, and to that, I am grateful. So with that, lads and chads, I hope you liked my video. I'm looking forward to my false copyright claim, and of course, the eventual lawsuit. Sounds like a fun time if you ask me. I'll see you lads and chads in the next video, or I'll have been copyright claims from existence. In that case, I'll see you all when I'm done getting fucked by the broke-ass DMCA system. Because, fuck it, I didn't have any aspirations. I'm just a crazy bastard that's been doing this shit for fun. We'll see how this one turns out.